Lionized mindset. It is said that performance and performance alone dictates the predator in any food chain. Therefore, a lionized mindset strives to be self-initiated, dynamic, cool under pressure, as well as stylish and debonair. So sit back as I roll out the red carpet, detailing and lacing you up through a series of 7 videos explaining 7 mental laws on establishing a foundation on attaining a lionized mindset. Gentlemen of the craft, what's good? Hey, it looks like we have another banger on our hands. Since I already have popped the cork on this puppy, I'm gonna sit back, I'm allow this one to breathe.
Ay, filling my pocket with legal tender, cost me to be the winner. Fly out before I can see the winner, no more TV dinners. Wake up and roll me a wood in the morning, I heard it go good with the vitamin C. Baby, you don't need no friend for this evening, believe me, you better all ride with me. Slide to the loo in my leisure, but still had to cop me a crib right outside of the D. I let them think what they wanted, cause bitch, I got bundles of bread, it ain't bothering me. I've been up late in the lab just in case you was looking, that's where I'ma probably be. Make sure you thought about all of that shit that you saying before you done brought it to me. Brought all my soul to the masses. As soon as I dropped out of classes, I knew it was over. Lately I feel like I'm cashless and poverty made me a savage. Just weight on my shoulder. Told my little baby the waiting is over. I showed her I'm really the man. All of these rappers be trying to send me they songs. I just told them to send me a band. All of my niggas gon' turn up the function. I'm hitting the stage with that Henny in hand. Boy, you ain't popping until you can fly out the country. I met on my city demands. I do not rock with authority morally. None of them niggas be coming correct. Watch how you treating the one at the bottom tomorrow. He might just be coming to connect. I know that well what I know. I can't speak what I don't. I don't stress how you feel, so I'm gonna do what I want. Know damn well what I know. I don't speak what I don't. I can't stress how you feel, so I'm gonna do what I want.
That's what's up. Checkmate. Welcome back to another episode of the Chronicles of Gameology. Also to the last installment and video out of the Lionizing Your Mindset series. I'm your host, Neil K. Marcellus. Getting through the last 6 videos, it should be no surprise that gameology is a forward-leaning psychology. And to set the tone for this particular episode, which is the last law out of the series of 7, I'm going to utilize a clip from the Game of Thrones. And after this clip, we will kick off the show from there.
Fight every battle, everywhere, always, in your mind. Everyone is your enemy. Everyone is your friend. Every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way, and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before.
Boy, you know, the Game of Thrones never fails to deliver, other than that last jacked up season from the series finale, but that's a totally different story. In spite of that harsh sentiment and overall tone of that scene you just witnessed, the takeaway and the wisdom to be derived from it is this. And to help paraphrase this wisdom, I'm going to utilize a saying from a hip-hop legend and a true OG from out of Los Angeles, better known as Sugar Free. As he would say, if you stay ready, then there's no need for you to get ready. Pretty much, I'm talking about having a formula or a frosty state of mind, so to speak. This same sentiment is exhibited when a highly skilled chess player contemplates their next move when surveying the chessboard. This type of forward-leaning thinking is common among grandmasters when it comes to the game of chess. Being frosty or having a formula way of thinking regarding chess is referred to as the A and B, C, D, and E methodology, as this image that I'm currently showing you indicates. Now, each letter of this method proposes a broad perspective that a highly skilled chess player takes into consideration when surveilling the chessboard and making their next move. So, for example, check out this new image that I'm currently showing you. Let's say for all intents and purposes, you are the lighter shade player in this scenario I'm getting ready to paint. In using this formula to evaluate the chessboard, you will begin and start with the letter A, which advocates you to evaluate your opponent's ability to attack your pieces and how vulnerable they are to that particular attack. Therefore, in this image and scenario, you will start evaluating your opponent's pawns, and you will take each of his chess pieces, his bishops, his knights, etc., and you will place them up under this scope of evaluation, determining, based upon their characteristics and the way they maneuver, what is the probability of them threatening your chess pieces. Once again, for all intents and purposes, let's assume that it's the reddish shades player turn to move. Based upon your evaluation indicated by the green arrow, you can see that his pawn has a clear avenue to attack your knight. Also indicated by the purple arrow, his other pawn has a clear avenue to attack your bishop. This A and B, C, D, and E methodology, each letter a skilled chess player utilizes like a Jedi mind trick in order to survey the chessboard to determine what is the probability of things taking place before they occur. This frosty state of mind, this ability to have this forming way of thinking, it ties back into what the Game of Thrones character was advising the young lady, that she need to see everything all at once. Point of clarification, peep game. This A and B, C, D, and E methodology is what constitutes a strategy. In order for you to be a thorough gameologist, you must have an understanding of the difference between strategies and tactics. Strategy requires you to have a forethought and a vision, which this A and B, C, D, and E methodology illustrates. But tactics, it requires you to take notice of your immediate situation, what's in front of you, and the observation skills and the aggression to take advantage of it once the door becomes open. Yes sir. Now, since you got a thorough understanding on the difference between tactics and strategies, having this you need to see everything all at once type of mindset, at this junction, it's time for me to pull back the curtain and introduce you to the final law of lionizing your mindset. And of course, this final law, law number 7, is referred to as the formula. The breakdown of this formula, law number 7, goes like this. CI plus GI multiplied by S gives you the outcome of IP. Pretty much, let me unpack this for you. The initial CI stands for core intelligence. It speaks to your understanding from law 1 all the way down to law 6. The other initial, GI, it stands for having a go-getter intelligence. I thought to myself, once I got introduced to this factor, this go-getter intelligence, man, because the OG who introduced me to the philosophy of gameology, the tenets of gameology, he said to me in establishing this factor, never trust another man who you know have never tasted his own blood in his own mouth. Pretty much within the culture, this speaks to how much work you have put in. So a go-getter intelligence, a gameologist must know the difference between having a tabloid form or appreciation of the craft versus having an application, 10 toes down understanding, practical, putting in that work, so to speak, understanding of the craft. Like the great philosopher and intellectual Nietzsche said, do the thing and you have the power. The deciding factor in moving and progressing from having this passive, tabloid type appreciation of the philosophy of gameology to having an active application of the craft, it comes down to the quality of your self-awareness. Your self-awareness is the accumulative factor of those two elements I just mentioned, your core intelligence and your go-getter intelligence. Now, The next initial within the equation is the S. It stands for your swag or your sauce. Think of this as your attitude. Also, make a mental sticky note of this particular factor, because I'm going to show you how tweaking this factor, it increases the probability of you being successful within gameology. The last initial within the equation is IP. It is the outcome. This speaks to your individual performance. The other three factors, your core intelligence, your go-getter intelligence, your swag, your sauce, they are the variables within this equation. But the IP, it is the constant. It is based upon your individual and personal performance. Now, a moment ago I stated that there's a way in order to tweak this equation, giving you a sort of mind hack, if you will, this third factor, your swag, your attitude. But to implement this tweak or wild card, you must first be in possession of a certain type of swag and attitude. This kind of attitude and swag from a street perspective is referred to as a what's up with it kind of attitude and maneuvering about yourself. First and foremost, we need to pull attitude and swag off to the side, set it down, and chop it up and get a better understanding of what makes it tick and operate. Once again, peak game. The social sciences have defined the nuts and bolts of an attitude as a collection of notions and impulses that a person associates with a certain type of event, object, or individual and personalities. I need you to take another mental sticky note to what I'm about to say, because it will play heavily into tweaking this loophole. But your attitude comes about mainly and largely due to what you zoom your attention onto. So to tweak this third factor of this equation, your attitude and your swag, and to truly be in possession of this what's up with it kind of attitude, we need to bring into the conversation something I mentioned earlier within this episode. And that is the concept of your self-awareness. You see, there are two kinds of self-awareness that produces your attitude and your swag. And only one of these concepts of self-awareness certifies itself to be a what's up with it kind of attitude and persona. From the perspective of gameology and its philosophy, there are two kinds of self-awareness that's in play when one comes to understand and look at their attitude and swag. The first one is referred to as a point blank kind of self-awareness, and the second one is referred to as a flip and tuck kind of self-awareness. When a man has this first kind of self-awareness, this point blank, he is more likely to judge himself based upon his personal standards of performance and behavior. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, when a man possesses this second form of self-awareness, which in all actuality is a counterfeit and pseudo form of attitude, this flip and tuck, he is more concerned with following the herd, the status quo. And he chases the status quo and their guidance on what is recommended and necessary, also what is improper and disregarded. The first kind of self-awareness that I just mentioned, the point blank class of self-awareness, is what adds up to having a what's up with it attitude and swag. Earlier, I mentioned that our attitude is largely brought into manifestation because of what we zoom our attention onto. So for that reason, in order for you to utilize this loophole, this tweaking factor within this equation, you need to have a thorough understanding of the third law on line 9s in your mindset, which is your cipher. Like I said many times before, these 7 laws of line 9s in your mindset do not work in isolation, they work in tandem. In conclusion, a gameologist and a practitioner of this craft possesses an understanding that opposition and the push and shove that takes place upon the chessboard of life is just an equation in search of a solution. Checkmate. This concludes the 7 Laws series of lionizing your mindset and the 7th law. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next episode.